Did you just receive chicks in the mail and are curious how to raise them from a chick to an adult bird? Stick with me, I'll show you. Once you have your birds, you're going to need a brooder space. We use the shed because we don't care if the walls get dirty. And let me tell you, they're going to get dirty. We put up a little spot right here, screwed it into some wood with the corrugated metal. What we do is we have 1 square foot for 3 birds up to 3 weeks. Once they're in here for 3 to 4 weeks, then we can move them outside to the grass. What you're going to do is set your water up, and we like to put in raw apple cider vinegar, about 1 tablespoon per gallon. And you're going to go ahead and take the birds and dip their beaks in the water. I would normally suggest that you have a heat lamp or a brooder plate set up to keep the temperature around 95 degrees for the first week, dropping down to 90 to 85, so on and so forth, until you get a good acclimation between the outside air temperature and the brooder temperature. But being that we're almost at July, we're going to use no heat plate at all for these guys. Let me show you up close and personal. So once you dip their beaks, they're going to know where to get a drink from, and that is going to be extremely important, especially because they just spent a day and a half in the mail getting to you, so they're dehydrated. Check for how they look. Make sure that they don't look too lethargic. Make sure that they're all coming to get a drink when they do get in there and you show them where it's at. Otherwise, what I would like to do is usually add like a teaspoon or so of the electrolyte Rooster Booster. But I am dumping sweat because it's hot in here. Let me show you guys. Make sure you guys get yourself a graduated feed cup right here so you can measure feed out easier. What I'm doing is I know that these birds, for the amount that I have, are going to go through 12 pounds this week. So, I have my nice long feeder. I measure out 2 pounds for the first day. And they will get free choice, as these are meat birds. They'll get free choice for the first week. And then after that, they will go on to a 12-hour cycle of morning feed and night feed. If they were laying chickens, you do not have to worry about that. You can just give them free choice, unlimited. Now, what I do suggest though is get yourself some chick grit. Honestly, I grab myself a little handful. I'll show you. Sorry, I'll spill it. I grab a little handful like this, and I just sprinkle it on in there. Right on top of the feed is fine. You could probably do 2 handfuls depending on how many chicks you have. Going to throw 2 handfuls like that. So until they get out on ground, it is definitely better for them to have some chick grit. It's just going to aid them in breaking down that food and keeping their crop moving and flowing so they don't have any buildup or blockages. And let me show you guys exactly where they're going to be going out to once they hit about 3 weeks old. Or we can do the same thing with probably around 4 to 5 weeks old with some laying hens. So this is my small version of a chicken tractor. We have the bigger one over there. So once the meat birds are 3 weeks old, they come out here on pasture and I move them twice a day. Usually just about 5 or 6 feet per move, morning and evening, in the first week or so once they're out here, so week 4 and 5 of their lives. Once you get to like week 4 or 5, from there until week 8, or whenever you decide you're going to harvest, you're going to move them about full move every single day, and you could see how the grass here is a little bit beaten up, but it gets pretty green over that way, and you could see it's more beat up there. That's where we've been moving them. The manure gets in there. Usually you want to wait 36 days minimum time to put birds back on here. So those guys are going to the freezer on Saturday, and the birds that we just got won't be out in the field until they are 3 weeks from now. So that'll give us plenty of time, because I'm pretty sure it's been about 2 or 3 weeks since those birds have been on this area, giving it plenty of time to rest. So let's say that you did have laying hens in the brooder. Once they come out, if they're the first birds that you've ever gotten and you have your chicken coop built, they can go straight into there until they start laying eggs. You're going to keep them on chick feeder for about 16 to 20 weeks, or until you start seeing the first eggs come about. If they're on dirt, they do not need chick grit as much. They could run out of it, so I always add in some grit. Usually I give them the poultry grit once they hit around probably 10 to 12 weeks, just because they're bigger. If you have birds and you are trying to transition more birds into your flock, what you could do is you can get a little A-frame type structure or a secondary coop that's smaller, and it'll allow these birds here to have time to grow, get big, while you're not feeding them the laying pellet, because it can mess up, that calcium can mess up a little bird's health and they won't grow or develop properly. But once they are about 16 weeks of age, you can put them over there for the laying pellet. We just like to keep our birds separate until they're ready to be incorporated together, and that just helps us keep down the feed cost, because chick feed's pretty expensive, especially if you're going with the organic stuff. The organic stuff is about 87 cents a pound, and the laying pellet is probably 70 cents a pound. So when they eat a quarter pound a day, each bird, even when they're younger, that can add up. And same thing, just make sure they have fresh water, especially on these hot days, morning and evening. If it's really, really hot, check them. Usually with laying hens, they'll go through about 2 to 3 gallons a day, especially if you have anywhere from like 15 to 20 of them. So when you have meat birds, they're going to be going through, I have 40 meat birds, I went through 15 gallons the other day. They got 5 in the morning, 5 at night, 5 in the afternoon. It's a lot of water. So anyway guys, I hope this helps you. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. Let me know if you made it to here. Put Chicken Crew if you did. And that's where we're going to head it out. There's going to be a video here or here that YouTube's going to suggest for you guys, because it's some magic stuff. And I hope you guys have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll catch you all on the next one. Take care, guys.